Good afternoon, everyone. I am Maria de Los Angeles. Today I will be Justin, the machine program presenting the theme shared life in food. To begin, I will introduce you to our guests for today. I will introduce Engineer Jessica Alexandra, Engineer Yaritzel, and Engineer Joan. To begin, we will define what tertiary life is. We know that is it the period of time from production to the manufacturing of a product. Now, Engineer Jessica Alexandra, how would you define what shared life is?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I am currently in the research area. Shared life is defined as a period within factor a sale of the food product during which the product is satisfactory.
How did shared life come to be?
When you supermarket chains are that you always got the shelf life of a product. In other words, the expiration date of the one are you going to buy is done it. This happens mainly when you have to buy perishable foods such as breads, daily products in general, and sachets which have shorter shelf life. Now, suppose you have to buy such a products without saying that information printed on their labels doesn't seem strange to take home a carton of milk without knowing its shelf life when it was a product on the batch. Well, for information, this was the case for a long time. It was only on the 1970s that the first was recurring companies to put on the information of their packaging approved. It was between of the 1960s and 1970s, and industrialized products began to gain more space among shoppers. People started producing their food and home on spread button and ready to eat, with the need really come the need to think about to satisfactory.
But what are the main stages that affect shared life?
The factor and influence shelf life process are mainly formulation is a reference selection of appropriate raw materials, ingredients to ensure the ingredient on the food. Processing is the process of handling the food from raw materials to packaging and how this influences in shelf life. Packaging, the characteristics of the product should be taken in account and how will or will not contribute to the preservation of its satisfactory quality. Storage, finally, of the condition under which the product will be stored in the terms could mean our claimant should be considered.
Based on what you just mentioned, why do you think the audience should know about this topic?
Knowing the shelf life of products helps us be certain of quality and avoid consuming them when they are no longer insoluble straight from humans. Therefore, it is important to understand thoroughly and how this analysis in the performance.
Now we move on to our next guest, Engineer Yaritzel. What we try use about for spoilage? Engineer Yaritzel, could you tell use with food deteriorate?
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to accompany you in this program. Foods are perishable products with a limited conservation period that varies depending on the product and can be longer or less long. Food such as fish, meat, milk, bread, and vegetables have a short and limited shelf life. Other products, on the other hand, can be kept for a longer time. Although this does not mean that they are kept without spoiling, the food begins to deteriorate already at the time of harvesting or shelving. This process can be defined as an improvement change in your normal state.
What can we find instant deterioration?
Pathogenic microorganisms, viruses, molds, and germs are related to the process of deterioration of food.
What are the causes of food spoilage?
It is due to improving handling and storage, although other aspects also influences this process. Oxygen can provide conditions for microorganisms to grow or cause oxidation. Microorganisms, the main sources of microorganisms are air, salt, sewage, and animal waste. Enzymes accelerate chemical reaction between oxygen and food, leading to its decomposition. Moisture, the amount of water in a food influences its appearance, texture, and flavor. Like almost all foods are exposed to light from natural or artificial sources. This exposure leads to change in the color of the food, in the flavor is vitamin losers. Temperature. When this is not at the quality controlled, the rate of a food spoiling is greater.
How to prevent food from spoiling?
Preventing food from spoiling involves following certain storage and handling guidelines. Another measure is not buy only what is going to be consumed intermediate. Days and plain time meals for the week. Likewise, there are methods to preserve the most common foods. We can mention a diverse number of procedures, which is why there are two large categories. One of them is the chemical processes of food preservation. We will mention a few that are the most relevant to preserve important foods, such as meat, fruits, or vegetables. Those methods are explained chopped fruit with lemon juice, cover meat such as fish with wheat, clothes, if preserved food is brine. And the other category physical preservation processes. Among these, we will highlight the following: refrigerated food, preservative-free freezing, degraded food, regulate the temperature of the fridge, sterile food, careful and other, and use jars and hermetic containers.
Now we move on to our life yet. Engineer Joan, you will try to use about the method of share life analysis. Could you tell us which are the most useful methods?
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to accompany you in this program. Studies to determine shelf life are essential in the food sector. They are used to launch a new product and to assess how they affect changes in production process. There are four methods in the shelf life, which are: the accelerated shelf life method uses higher storage temperatures than normal frozen storage. Temperatures products are submitted by this method to determine the durability for consumption. The direct method consists of storing the product in pre-select conditions for a period of time longer than shelf life. A predictive microbiology is a tool that allows knowing the behavior of microorganisms in whole range of different environment conditions and combinations is based on the application of mathematical models predict the behavior of microorganisms in food. The probabilistic method is used mainly when the study is carried out during sensory evaluation evolve must start where the product is considered unacceptable. The essence of this product is considered. The essential methods consist in considering the user life as magnitude and describing its behavior by means of a probabilistic model.
What impact do taste methods have on food?
It has a great impact on the food industry, screening the quality criteria of the product to the consumer, avoiding natural alternatives, proliferation and contamination by microorganisms.
Finally, could you use which method you consider the most appropriate?
The direct method is the most appropriate since the life of the product is quickly known.
After knowing some definition of shelf life, now I will talk about the application in some food. Although consumers currently demand fresh products, it is very difficult to extend the useful life without sacrificing the image of fresh of the food, and in many cases the amount the food that can deteriorate are cookies which might have a loss of texture, for which the user of preservatives is used to extend its shelf life. Likewise, in meat and dairy products, where the presence of microorganisms is generated which affect the quality of the product, but to avoid this, refrigeration and the use of preservatives are used generating a longer shelf life. Finally, we realize that the shelf life on food is of great importance because it helps used to avoid the deterioration of food later than the stipulated time, for which we appreciate the presence of our guests, Engineer Jessica Alexandra, Engineer Yaritzel, and Engineer Joan. See you in our next episode of Magic, where we will address new topics.